Welcome to Caring Community with your hosts Jay and Diane West. In this community, creative initiatives are welcome. A culture of transformation is normal, and miracles are expected. Welcome to Caring Community.
Hello, I'm Jay.
And I'm Diane.
And this is Caring Community. Our special guest in this show is our good friend, Pastor, Bishop, Apostle, intercessor, leader of the city, James Patterson.
Well, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, it is too much. Sorry, I went overboard there. So I just know him as James. So good to have you on our show.
It's my privilege to be here.
You know, I remember the first time I met you. You probably don't remember it. We were at a pastor's gathering. It was in 2000, and I saw you, and it was at a CellNet thing, and it was at Bellevue Christian Center that Rod Whitlock was leading, and you were across the room, and I looked across, I said, I'm going to know that guy someday. That's what I said. I'm going to know that man someday. And little did I know that the very next year, through another mutual friend that is no longer living, Al Burks, and you invited me in to speak and at your church, and we just started hanging out and doing stuff together and doing stuff at your place, at my place, and in the city, and working together and praying together. And now it's 2020. That was 20 years ago, James.
Wow.
20 years ago.
Wow. Evidently.
And I haven't aged a bit, either of you.
Well, we won't discuss that anymore.
She hasn't aged
No,
at all. She
hasn't,
looks
okay.
exactly the same. I mean, she
know.
just looks awesomely beautiful. And
Amen.
so
Amen.
She doesn't know what to say now.
I
Okay.
know. Like, wow.
So why don't you launch with the first question?
Oh, okay. Wow. So how did you get into pastoring?
Oh.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
You know, what were you doing before?
I came here to Omaha with the Air Force.
Okay.
I was officer in the Air Force, and came here on my last assignment.
Oh.
And our plan was to be here for 3 years. And then we was going back to God's country, somewhere between Northern Virginia and Atlanta, but we knew it was on the
When
East
did they
Coast.
move California over to that side of the...
No.
You said God's country. I'm
God's
just curious.
country. God's
the palm
country.
trees and the nice weather and all that. When did they move California over there?
Some people just needed the definition defined a little bit better. But for us who grew up there, we knew where it was.
I grew up in California. I know exactly where it is. We got the beach, we got the mountains, we got the desert, we got the snow.
And we got beach, we got mountains.
You got that too.
We don't, no desert, but we had, valleys and snow and all that good
I
stuff.
only had snow growing up one time in 22 years, and it only lasted for 4 hours. So
Yeah, we don't count that.
Okay, keep going with your story. Sorry.
But and so.
I have to ask if I think that was God's country and you think that was God's country, where are we now?
Well, the Lord adjusted my thinking, my definition.
Okay.
Okay. And said God always gives us adjustments, and I'm so grateful for the adjustments He puts in our lives.
Absolutely.
But we were determined to do that, and after. As my military career was coming to an end, this Foursquare church needed a pastor, and we were just fellowshipping there. And he asked me if I would consider it. And
What was your rank in the military?
I was a captain.
A captain? Okay, in
Wow,
Air Force?
you were up there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but and I was, and I told him, I said, now why should Foursquare? Now, I was one of those individuals who wore different hats, even on active duty. I was in Korea. The chief of chaplains there asked me if I would, they did not have a pastor for a gospel service, which is primarily, they call it more of an upbeat for the regular Protestant services. And none of their staff was comfortable carrying it. And when I got there, they just had some of the military people was doing the services, And so he came to me, he said, asked me if I would consider pastoring that service. And so I said, sure. I prayed about it, and I felt like the Lord wanted me to do it. And actually, I felt I went there on assignment for more than the military.
How long were you in Korea?
You're a missionary.
About 2 years. And
I
so-
asked that in part because our next door neighbor right now just got deployed to Korea for 1 year. So
Yeah. Well, I was on a 2-year assignment, and therefore I was able to bring my wife with me. And
that'd be Suzanne.
yes, that's
Okay.
Suzanne. Yeah,
Just
this is
checking.
this is our 39th year anniversary. I mean, we served in
Wonderful.
39 years.
So you're older than us, but we're ahead of you in marriage. Okay,
Hey,
so
you know,
Yeah.
God works in strange ways.
that's
you know.
right. Yeah, I got some strange older friends, right?
But so God did some awesome things there.
Tell our guests, because some people might not know what Foursquare is. They might think that's a game with a ball, you know. So.
Okay, yeah. Foursquare is the name of our denomination, started by Amy Semple McPherson. It's primarily a missionary sending organization. Most of our churches are overseas. We are similar, very much similar to the Assemblies of God, Church of God in Christ, Church of God of Cleveland, Tennessee. We're out of that vein of Pentecostal churches. And most of our churches here in the stateside are more on the West Coast. And now we have more on the East Coast now, not that many in the Midwest. In Nebraska, we have a lot more in Colorado and in Missouri.
We had more in Nebraska than we do now.
We do.
Previously.
That is true. That is true. We lost some.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed, I don't know how many times I've spoken to church, maybe 15 times. I've always enjoyed being with you guys, with your, you know, in fact, it's been a long time since you've invited me, James, so I'm just letting you know.
Thanks for the reminder. We'll see what we can do about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, but and you still have, let's talk about that for a minute. There's a prayer time at your church on Monday. Is it still at your church on
Sure,
Monday nights?
sure.
Talk about the North Omaha Village prayer time a little bit.
Okay. The North Omaha Village, first of all, is a group of churches that come together and pray for the city.
Okay.
And we love our city. We speak blessings over our city, and we pray for the ministries. We pray for the care of our city. We've done a number of things together. We did a lot of prayer walking. We would ask the Lord, where would you have us to go? We believe that our presence makes a difference. And as we prayer walk the city and prayer walk North Omaha, we have, matter of fact, even Chief Smarter indicated at one point in time is that they can actually tell a tangible difference whenever prayer walking goes on with regard to the crime and 911 calls and so on and so forth.
Cool. And that we really like. I've talked to some other pastors in the area, and especially in North Omaha, and said, let's go out and pray, feel like we hear from God in advance of a crime, and go out and pray it away before it happens, rather than showing up after the fact.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what we were doing. We would say, Lord, where would you have us to go? And we would go and prayer walk those areas. I remember, can I tell a short story?
Absolutely. And it is so nice when he's mentioned Chief Smarter. It's nice that our chief of police here in Omaha says crime goes down when we're out there praying. So
Yeah.
I am very thankful for Chief Smarter. I'm very thankful for his heart and his leadership and his confidence that he's brought to the community. A real team player and inviting people to come along with them.
We're actually working with 2 other officers right now who meet with him on 3 times a week as part of our Transformation Omaha networking that we're doing and praying. We have prayers on first and third Saturdays. You have it on every Monday. But yeah, tell your story. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we targeted this one particular area, and we was prayer walking it, and we just break up in small teams and walk on both sides of the street, just praying for the blessings over the community, and praying against the violence, and praying peace in the community, and stability. Speaking God's plans, when these cities was built, homes and neighborhoods was laid out, they was designed to be a blessing.
Right.
Now, corruption comes in and turns it around. But we find ourselves saying, Lord, what was your intent when you created this? What was your intent? It was supposed to be a place of blessings, a place of security, a place where people could grow and prosper and feel safe and encouraged. Come back here home and be restored, rejuvenated, and then go back out and be a blessing to the community. And should be hope here, should be community working together. And we're speaking those blessings over the community. And as we were walking down, I remember one particular day, we were way down the street, and this voice started yelling out, hollering at us, "We don't want you here. We don't want you here." And then just started running towards us. We stopped, and we recognized that this was a spiritual encounter. And we turned around and to deal with it. And as soon as we did, there was a single individual. It wasn't an arm. It was just a single individual. But it was yelling. And as soon as we turned around to deal with it, it turned off and went a different direction. But we recognized that spiritually something's going on in the neighborhood. Because we also encountered in that same neighborhood, a few blocks over, an older lady who wanted to know who we were, walking the streets and praying. She said the church don't do that no more. And I wanted to engage her, to pray for her, but she was afraid to come out.
Sure.
I shared at our congregation just recently that when we lived in Houston, I would take teams of people out and prayer walk and actually knock on doors and ask if we could pray for people on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
And people said that we would do it every other week. We just took a small team out, the rest of the church was back worshiping, hearing the message or whatever. And we have people tell us all the time, they say, nobody does that. We can't believe you left your church to come visit our neighborhood on a Sunday. And we actually got to talk to a lot of them about Jesus, lead them, invite them to our church. I figure if you're home on a Sunday morning, you're not in a church, or you're backslidden, or you're sick. Well, if you're sick, we'll pray for you. If you're backslidden, we'll encourage you to go back to your church. And if you're unsaved, we'll invite you to ours. And so that was the pretense and the commission that we had to do that.
I think that's a great time to do that. I think that's really strategic. It shows your heart.
Right. So, I'm trying to put together right now, and it's slow work, but I'm meeting more and more people that are like you that are praying in our city. And I'm trying to my goal is to put together a website called Omaha Prays, and then list all the various prayer groups in the city that are praying for the city or praying for the nation. I'm not going to list ones that are just praying for their own church. But if they're praying for something bigger and beyond their own church, then I want to listen, because a lot of people don't even know what's going on in the city prayer-wise.
Yeah. See, it's really kingdom ministry. It's not the little kingdom. It's the big kingdom. It's God's kingdom. And we want God's kingdom to come. Jesus says, pray that thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth, even as it is in heaven. And that should be our heart too. And the thing about it is, God didn't just call James to Omaha. He called you guys to Omaha. He called lots of people, all of us here. And he really wants us to figure out how to work together for his kingdom.
Yeah, we were called here in 2000. Well, we actually were notified about it in 1995, but the actual position didn't open up for 5 years. And we came, we're in our 20th year, And
but you see, that's a great testimony too, because you had the patience to wait.
Well, I actually didn't, I'll be honest with you, I forgot about it. I was given a prophetic word one time up here, and then I wrote it in my Bible and forgot about it. And then when I was pastoring in Dallas, the Lord reminded me, and he said, it's time to go to Omaha, and that was in 1999. And so, we prayed, and through connections, we were able to get here. And tell us about the Good News Bears.
The Good News Bears is an outreach that we started from our church in 1991. And
91? I didn't realize. Okay, so how long have you been at Trinity Home?
Since 1990.
Okay.
Wow. See,
1 year before Jason was born.
Wow. Wonderful.
See, that would make your church 29 years old.
Hey.
Because Jason's 28, so I'm smart.
See, you are. I know that. Others are learning, but I know that.
That's the only thing I'm smart at, but that's good. So, okay.
Yeah, but the Good News Bears, so after becoming pastor, I really felt that the Lord wanted us to be more than a church where people just came, was preached to, and was encouraged and healed and left and go back home and come back. But we're supposed to impact our community in some way. And for a number, we tried a number of things. And we prayed, Lord, what are we supposed to do, Lord? And just down the street from our church was one of the most heavily patrolled areas in the city, on the area between 42nd and Redmond Avenue and 46th and Redmond. There was a little housing area there. It was just a troubled area. And when we would ride down through there, we'd see kids standing around all the time. And I kept asking, so we went down to the park at Fontenelle Park, and we did a picnic in the park. First of all, we just tried to preach to folks, thought they would come to listen, they wouldn't come. Then we did a giveaway, some food, and they came. But as soon as we started preaching, they left. So then we brought a rapper in, Christian rapper. They came for the rapping and the food. As soon as we started preaching, they left. I said, Lord, this is not working. This is not it. So kept
You
on
had to have a
praying.
big prize at the end of the preaching.
Right.
Make them stay.
It was salvation.
A computer or something, to make them stay. It'd be a gift card for $100 or something.
And so I said, Lord, this is not working. So the Lord brought into my mind a program that our denomination have called the Good News Bears. It was designed to run parallel with adult Bible study, but it was designed for children. So I contacted Foursquare and got permission to modify the program and make it a standalone outreach. And that's what we did. And on a particular Saturday afternoon, some people dressed up, one leader dressed up like a clown, Pied Piper with a boombox, with a small group of us with a boombox, various color flyers, and walked out and totally outside our comfort zone. Walked down the street with the boombox going boom, 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 whatever, to get attention. And where we saw kids, we passed out flyers. Do you belong to any kids clubs? Do you take any field trips? How would you like to belong to a kids club? And we started describing and so on and so forth. And we said, and the interesting thing is, it won't cost you no money. You know? And you get to be able to purchase toys and prizes and gifts, and they won't cost you any money either, but you can earn them.
Right.
They say, yeah. And we said, well, and if you really want to be a part of it, the only requirement is that the parent have to sign you up. And if you sign up by this afternoon, by 4:30, we have an ice cream social going on. You can take part in it. That afternoon, we signed up 30 kids and launched the Good News Bears.
Wow.
And that
What
was
are the ages now? What are the ages that you have now?
we go up to 17.
Starting
We started initially at 3 to 13, and we realized 3 was a little early for some kids. Some kids could be there at 3, but 3 was a little bit early. We wanted to reach them early, and we wanted to introduce them to the love of the Lord. Let them know they have an awesome purpose. We didn't want to catch them before they became discouraged and tainted by
This is boys and girls.
Boys and girls. So now our age goes from 4 to 17. And we got beyond 13 because we had children who was turned 13 and 14, and they said, do we have to leave? Can we still come? We said, absolutely. So we bumped it up to 14. Then we bumped it up to 15, 16, 17, 18.
Really?
And so...
well, when you get up to 40, I'll come.
that's going to take a stretch to get there.
Well, all right.
But we tutor them, we mentor them, we take them on field trips. The most important thing, we teach them the Word of God. We cast vision with them of what they can become. A lot of our kids initially had no idea about professions that they could go into. They could not relate what a good math background, the kinds of doors that would open up for you, a writing background, a love of science and nature. They had no idea. So we started talking about those things, and we told them, and we asked them, what do you want to be initially? They said a basketball player, a football player, a dancer, a singer. And we said, no, you got to dream beyond that. Okay, we asked them, now, what are you good in school? Well, I like math. I said, math? With math, you can do some awesome things. You know, you can get your degree in math, and with a degree in math, you can be a computer programmer, you know, and you can go off into research and science, and you can be a teacher, and so on and so forth, sharing them.
You could even become a captain in the Air Force.
You could.
That's
right. Absolutely. And so I began to share things like that with them. And now when I ask them that, they'll tell me doctors, lawyers, teachers, preachers, you know, policemen, and so on and so forth. And actually, we've had a number of kids who became doctors, you know.
Really?
Wow.
They have gone into all kinds of professions.
That's super.
Do some of these children who have become adults and gone into professions, do they come back and help you at all?
We have several of them leaders right now who are leading. Matter of fact,
because it would seem like a natural, they went through this to them to come back and say, hey, I was just where you are now. And here I am over here.
Right.
This is a worthwhile thing.
I haven't been to summer camp. We take them to camp, which is a huge thing. We take them to camp every year, and we've been doing that now for
So
almost
what
20.
months did the program run? I know you have a time when you're in hibernation, but
Yes, exactly. It runs, the Saturday program runs April through December,
okay.
April to December.
Is the 1st of December or into Christmas, or how's that go?
about the second week, depending on when we do our end of year Christmas party.
Okay.
And that will determine the end of the year. And then, but our tutoring program is on Thursdays, and that parallel the school year.
Okay.
Yeah, but with regard to camp, we've been taking kids to camp now, this one camp, probably about close to 20 years. But I haven't been back to camp only one time since then. That was when somebody was ill. But it's the leaders, it's the next generation who's been leading that. And
So
been doing
do
that.
they meet at, because I know you office one place and have your church, and where does this activities happen?
Okay. Right now, we're located on the Better Together campus. It used to be the Turning Point campus.
Right.
We're located at 3223 North 45th Street.
Okay.
Big Mama's used to be there, just moved off the campus.
Right. So the Better Together campus, the Abide Network, kind of
Yes.
working through that and all that. So you're on that campus there.
Yes.
So, and you brought a brochure about something that's coming up, didn't you? Or is
Well,
that just about?
this is just our brochure of the program.
Okay.
But we do have a fundraiser coming up.
Have you done a fundraiser before?
We only did one formally before.
So
Okay, we
in
want
29 years, you've only done one fundraiser,
formal.
formal fundraiser. Yes, I get it.
And so we hope to start out on a regular basis. And this year is going to be April the 17th at the DC Center. Danny Woodhead, a Nebraska native, he played football at Chadron. He wasn't drafted by Nebraska, and he was one of those who got away. But he went and walked on and ended up spending 10 years in the NFL and played on the New England Patriots Super Bowl team. Wow. And so he's going to be our speaker.
Okay.
And if someone is interested in coming, they can go to our website, nognb.com. And you can, if you want to spell it out, it's North Omaha Good News Bears. So you can spell that out as well.
Okay.
North Omaha GoodNewsBears.com, and go to our website, and there's information there how that you can.
So if you just Googled North Omaha Good News Bears, I'm sure it would pop up.
Yes. And if you want to go through Eventbrite, you can go to Eventbrite as well.
Okay.
Eventbrite.com and type in North Omaha Good News Bears, and information would pop up.
Didn't I hear you, I think you said, I could be wrong, the governor plans to attend, is that right? Or did you invite
Yeah,
him?
we have a number of dignitaries who have indicated that they plan. The mayor has indicated she was going to be there. The governor says he definitely wants to be there. And the scheduler at this point is, she says it was just a little bit too far out for her to put it on the calendar. But the governor has expressed his desire to be there.
I've experienced that with him just on personal appointments. You know.
Yeah.
They just don't go out very far on their
Yeah,
appointments. At least
right.
you know, other dignitaries do, but he doesn't. So
Yeah,
so you have to
yeah.
work within their confines. you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a number of people dignitaries have expressed their intent to be there. State Senator Justin Wayne has also indicated he was going to be there. Ben Gray, city councilman, has indicated he was going to be there.
I would put it on the air. I would think you could talk to maybe Robert Clement. He's part of Joe Laughlin's church. He's a state senator.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
there's a possibility. So
Yeah.
we're also friends with Don Bacon, and maybe
Yeah.
we could connect him
And
to you
Don,
too.
matter of fact, Congressman Bacon, his staff has indicated that he will be there as well.
Okay, good.
So a number of dignitaries have indicated they plan on being there. So we're looking for a great evening of celebration of the Good News Bears, and we have touched a lot of kids over the years.
I mean, we hope to be there. We might be in Florida that week, but even
Yeah.
if we are, we're supposed to be coming back on that Friday, so
Yeah.
we hope to be there. So
Yeah,
that's our plan.
and we want to, and this is our, it's a fundraiser. This is how, we don't charge the kids for what we do, but we have to raise funds because it's, you know.
So
Well,
we're
you
about,
have materials and resources and things that, you know, even printing up brochures, and you have expenses.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we have quite a, you know, even the camps, we feed them.
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, we do a field trip of some sort on a monthly basis.
so we have about a minute and a half left.
Okay.
So I'm just letting you know, if you could capsulize the Good News Bears in a statement that would really encourage our listeners to say, man, that's something I'd like to jump in and help with? What would you say to them?
I would say we give the kids hope.
Yeah.
I tell the kids, you don't get to choose the time of your birth, the place of your birth, or even who's your parents. You don't get to choose those things. And sometimes you might get disappointed in somewhere along the way, but God, in His love and kindness and His forbearance, in His providence, He places things around you that you need. And He'll put somebody around you who will encourage you. And so we have encouraged a lot of kids, their family, and our kids experience so many letdowns and failures in their lives. So one of the things we want to do is come along and give them hope. And I remember there's one young lady who's one of our volunteers, grew up in the club and so on and so forth. She went to graduate from North High, went to UNL on a full ride scholarship, graduated early, got her master's and so on and so forth. Wow. She said early on, the reason why she kept coming, she knew what she was going to get.
Right. And that's what I like about you. I always know what I'm going to get when I attend your church. And so it's nice to have James Patterson with us. Good News Bears. Check it out on Google. April 17th, you say it's the banquet. If you can, come and join us here in Omaha, and it'll be a blessing. You'll be a blessing to them. And you genuinely will be helping other people, and that's what caring community is all about. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We'll see you at the next show. God bless you. Goodbye.
Bye.